Hey, this is Gerry Visca, your why guy, and we're here today, part 2 of why training for leaders. This is the power of your why and how why just absolutely fuels and resonates throughout the entire organization. As an inspired entrepreneur, you need to understand the power of why as that nerve center driving all of your actions. So I'm super pumped about why. I love it when organizations bring me in to channel their why into all areas through innovation, sales, leadership, just overall customer-centric work. So the why is so centric to everything that you do, to the reason that you exist. And I want to take a few moments to just get into the why as that, almost like that processor. I want to use an example of a processor within a computer. Look at someone like Apple. They understand what drives their incredible technology is that the internal processors are so well built that everything else, all of their software, iOS 7 on top of everything else, the apps can all work beautifully when the processors are in place and everything is working great. So your why becomes the nucleus of everything you're doing. The why is, there's an input into the why and then there's an output into the why. So the input is always driven through two areas, passion and purpose. Passion are things like attributes. Why do we exist as an organization? What fuels us? What makes us come alive as a team, as an inspired entrepreneur? What am I super excited about that it gets me leaping out of bed? So passion is a major input into your why. Next is purpose, together with passion. So purpose is, what are our unique gifts to the world? Why do we exist? How can we be of service to others? Purpose is always going to drive the why. If you're not passionate about what you're doing as a leader, if you're not passionate, it's going to trickle down into your team. So as a team, especially on the customer side, if you're not passionate about what you are doing as an organization and you don't have a defined purpose, you're not going to have a stronger why. So purpose together with passion, excitement, enthusiasm gets injected into the why. Purpose, our reason for existing, our unique gifts to the world, fuels the why. Once those two are really together, what starts to happen is you have this reason for being. And I've said it earlier that why is not just a list of goals. We kind of tap into it once in a while and then we leave it. Your why is alive. It's alive like you. And it's continually fueling your reason for being. So your why does many things. When you have that why, this is what's going to be so exciting, is it creates what we call a manifesto. It creates a manifesto. It is your intention, your brand promise, your statement, your reason for existing. And it is clear, it is simple, and it drives everything in the organization. It becomes very intentional. So when everyone starts to believe in that why, and they start to believe in the purpose, and they're super fired up with passion, an intention starts to occur. Your why starts to resonate out. It attracts great people. It attracts an incredible clientele to you. It becomes a very magnetic force, but it also becomes a very compelling, resonating force, because your why, especially when your why is clear and it is simple and it is inspiring and it is driven around passion and purpose, it becomes extremely resonant. And it's so incredible because then the result of that is clarity. So the outcome of your why is clarity and focus. Focus. I see so many inspired entrepreneurs. I see individuals and organizations trying all these different things, but really not getting anywhere. Taking 2 steps forward and 10 steps back because their why is not clear. There's not a focus. There's no harmony. A clear and crystal why creates balance. It creates harmony within yourself as well as the organization. All right? It creates and invokes inspired action. And inspired action is what drives your work. It's what drives an organization, and what drives you as an inspired entrepreneur. Clarity, focus, harmony, inspired action. The result is that the world is helped by you. That is how we define why. WHY is the world helped by you. And the world is helped by you when an organization and everyone within that organization starts to bring the why into their heart, into their cells. Because then the result of that, an example, one of my favorite brands is Apple. Because everybody within the organization they don't exist to make more money. They exist to create exceptional, insanely great products. And every detail is a part of that why. It's always tested against it. And that's why it's one of the most valued companies in the world today. It's not the result of money and shareholders. It's a result of living and breathing that why. So when you start to really understand and adopt the why, this is what starts to happen. This is very exciting because it starts to drive innovation. When a why is crystal clear and super passionate, it starts to drive innovation. It starts to drive disruptive innovation. It allows you to start to challenge market opportunities. It allows you to start to design and create your own market opportunities. It starts to invoke collaboration, stronger, deeper penetration through the team right into their hearts. Collaborative thinking is what's going to drive an organization today that is driven by why. Customer engagement is taken to whole new levels. Customer engagement, customer retention, customer service, right down into the retail sector. Whatever your brand promise is, how you're delivering it, direct mail, non-direct, retail, a combination, direct sales force, customer engagement is taken up to whole new levels as a result of living this why within this state of passion and purpose. And finally, internal leadership. Internal leadership is like rocket fuel. It's like a new rocket fuel for your team because your leaders are now leading through example. They're leading and they're stating with clarity and focus and passion and purpose why we exist as an organization. And that starts to feed all of the elements of leadership throughout the entire team. Next, your why then drives. Okay, this is what I love, is that your why then drives the entire brand experience. And I see so many organizations, so many individuals that bring me on that are way over here without an understanding of their why. They're launching sales strategies. The sales team is on one end. Customer service team is on another end. Product development's over here. Innovative thinking is over there. Nothing is connected. Everything is disparate. There are no connected parts and no integration. Understand that the why, again, is the core center, the core fuel, the core energy, the jewel of everything that you do. So how it starts to drive the brand experience, first of all, you want to strive to create an experience around your brand. An experience. Why? Because people buy with why. They don't buy how, what, where, who. They buy why. The brands that you're connected to most are driven through a passion and a purpose, through understanding that organization's why. That is what why is all about. It is an energy. So if you start to transfer that energy, really taking the time to understand that deeper why, but not just one time, how can we live it and then create a brand experience? Because a brand experience becomes this aura, this invisible layer of meaning that starts to resonate into all of the touch points, how customers connect with us, how the customer engagement process works. So that ties into brand perception. When you start to focus on a brand experience that's driven by why, it starts to create a brand perception, meaning how do you want to be perceived? Ask yourself, how do we want to be perceived today in the marketplace? How do we want to be perceived by our peers? How do we want to be perceived by our consultants, the suppliers that we attract, the partners that we attract? What is the perception that we want to create? Because that will fuel the brand experience, which is being continually pumped and fueled through the why. Why becomes the oxygen for the entire organization. So when you start to really focus on those bigger questions, how do we want to be perceived? What do we want to be recognized for? Why do we exist? What do we want people to feel about us and our brand and what we stand for and what we exist for? And that will take you through the darkest times, because organizations that are going through the toughest times right now, through a lack of customer retention, a lack of customer engagement, losing top talent, is totally driven as a result of not coming back to the why, which will then fuel that brand promise. So after you've started to focus on brand perception driven through why, we then get into image. What is the image of our company that best represents and reflects our why? What is the image that best reflects our reason for being? Every ad campaign, the colors, the feel, the way we answer the phones, the way we respond to requests, to unsatisfied customers. How do we take that experience and make it even more magical? When it's driven by why, the image starts to become a whole new feeling, a whole new essence. The identity, the messaging in our many, many touch points, the email signatures right through to the brand promise on our website, to the videos that launch our products, to the point of sale purchase and the feel. What is the message that we're sending out? After image, we then get into strategy. And strategy is a result, again, of our why, our reason for being, our clarity, our focus, our harmony, our inspired action, our manifesto, our attraction and our intention, our passion and purpose is part of this incredible why experience. It resonates out, creates an incredible brand experience, an incredible brand perception. We have a solid image. We know who we are. We know how we want to be perceived in the marketplace. And now we're into strategy. And strategy allows us, with the result of this compelling why, to develop a platform, to develop a series of brand platforms that are designed to do one thing, and one thing only: to win the hearts of our customers, to win the hearts and the trust of our team. That's what a platform allows you to then branch off of. And I see so many organizations that haven't taken the time. And it takes time, and it takes intention, and it takes leadership. It takes inspired leadership to say and to understand the power of why as this central force that drives the entire organization. It doesn't just drive it, it allows an organization to thrive. It allows an organization to push the human race forward, to push the potential, to push through the ceiling and the barriers and the comfort that has suppressed our leadership team, that is suppressing our soul, because that's what comfort does. It suppresses the passion for the soul. We have to get uncomfortable. We have to come back to the core of why and the power of why, understanding that it's resonating and creating tremendous outcomes that are affecting all the areas of our organization. So strategy, platform, what are the campaigns? Customer engagement campaigns that we're going to design. And it's so much more fun and easy and creative when you have this linear progression and this connection to the power of why as your core processor for everything you do. And that's what's so cool, is that it starts to drive customer engagement. Customers that start to understand what the why is and within yourselves start to appreciate, and they want to be your ambassadors. They want to shout you from the rooftops, and that's what's so cool. That ties into sales, because the sales force, it's your direct link. It's your direct link from the customer right back to the promise, to the core essence of why you exist. And if the sales team doesn't understand why you exist, the feeling, the aura, and the promise and the intention of what you're trying to do in this world, how can they sell your product? How can they sell your service? As an inspired entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, how will you be able to truly engage top talent, top clientele, if you don't start with why and start with that brand promise and that stronger why promise? So sales, customer engagement, the retail experience. Some of you may have incredible retail experiences. Another example of Apple is, Apple chose not to just have their product, which are designed so beautifully, put into some store, shoved between two PCs that are selling for 50% less. Apple exists for quality, for connection to the heart, to such a degree that they designed their own retail experience, that has that customer-centric experience, that genius bar, that feeling of we're going to take care of you. We want you to touch our toys. You know, there's no cash registers anywhere. There's no counters. There's this feeling of collaboration and connection with our team. So the why resonated right into the direct sales, to the retail experience, to the direct mail. It resonates into all of those meaningful touch points. And those meaningful touch points will only become meaningful when they're driven by a stronger why that's driven by passion and purpose, understanding the interdependencies and the interrelationships to this core center of being. So strategy then moves itself into marketing. It designs marketing. I see so often so many entrepreneurs who jump right through to marketing without understanding image, brand perception, brand experience, collaboration. They skip this entire process because they haven't generated an awareness of the power of why. And they go straight into marketing without even a feeling of creating this incredible experience with the customer. So when you understand that it's driven by why, you're going to be selective on your marketing messages, the vehicles that you're going to use, the mediums that you're going to start to get involved with, how the campaigns interrelate, how the platforms connect with one another. All of those messages are going to start to be driven with more clarity, more focus, again, more harmony, and inspired action. It will always come back to inspired action, to be inspirited with your life purpose, when you're inspired, when your customers are inspired. That means when your team's inspired, it's because they understand a deeper connection to why you exist. And this is why we are put on this incredible earth at this particular point in time, is to make a difference in the lives of everyone around us. We have the ability to lift the human race up, to lift everyone up when we start to focus on the power of why as a catalyst for growth, as a catalyst for your most extraordinary life that you're about to unfold. The most extraordinary chapter within your organization is about to unfold because it's time to come back to the power of why. Power of why driven by passion and purpose and an outcome with the world being helped by you.